and welcome to the Nothing live stream here at Central St. Martin's. I've got to say, it is so good to see so many of you here, so many people joining us online, and lots of familiar faces in the crowd as we come together to talk about the next chapter for Nothing. Now, I think it's fair to say that over the years, Nothing has built a solid reputation for doing things differently, challenging the ordinary and creating products that shake up the industry with a firm focus on bold and distinctive design, thoughtful software, and products that genuinely stand out. And today is all about what is coming next. So over the next hour or so, we're going to take you inside the latest announcements, the thinking behind them, and where the brand is heading next. And to kick things off, please make some noise for the main man himself, the man behind the vision. I am, of course, talking about Glyph. Whew, Carl, big crowd, big day. How are you feeling right now in this moment?
It feels great. We're launching exciting new products today, and it feels like a great fit to be doing so from Central St. Martin's.
Yes.
It's a world-famous art school based here in London, and it's known for producing some of the biggest names in fashion and design.
Yeah, and it really is such a great fit. It really looks like you've brought your design studio to life. And we will, of course, get onto the new products momentarily. But before that, the last time I saw you, Carl, we were at South by Southwest London, where we talked about your mission to build a brand that rips up the playbook, embraces transparency, quite literally, and proves that great tech doesn't have to look and feel like everything else. So tell us, how has your journey been so far?
Well, we started with solving the hardest problem in our industry, which is building the end-to-end hardware value chain from scratch. One that can make products at speed, scale, and quality, and where the margin for error is effectively zero. So it meant we had to build a team that could balance the pragmatism of scaling a company whilst also having the creativity to create differentiation. So in the last couple of years, we've been pushing experiences that felt fresh, that were easy to use, and were also instantly recognizable.
Yes.
And I think that foundation is now real. We built the supply chain, we built the manufacturing partnerships all across the world, and we created an award-winning design language that has shaped a new cultural identity in tech. Mm-hmm. And we set up a product development infrastructure that has shipped tens of millions of products so far.
Yes.
In the last decade, Nothing is the only independent smartphone company that has survived. And we're also the fastest growing in the last 2 years.
Yes, I mean, it really is quite incredible just what you've achieved in such a short space of time, carving out your own identity and making your mark on an industry that, is really dominated by big tech giants. So now you've got this all in place, what's next?
Well, now we're in chapter 2. Mm-hmm. It's about scaling, but more importantly, about driving innovation.
Yeah.
In the last 2 years, while we were building Nothing, we watched AI go from research labs into everyday life. Yet the smartphone experience hasn't really changed. It's now been 20 years since the first iPhone, and we're still stuck here swiping on our lock screens and home screens and tapping our apps.
Yeah. So speaking of AI, how do you see it making an impact on smartphones, and how do you see the future of AI at Nothing?
Well, we believe that in order for AI to reach its full potential, consumer hardware has to be reimagined. Mm-hmm. This is the future we see for Nothing. The smartphone, with its sensors, with its distribution scale, and with its unmatched user context, it will remain the most important device in the AI era. But its operating system, it has to evolve. We believe in a future that's defined by systems that understand us and our intentions. It helps us do the things that are boring in our lives, so we can focus on the part that really gives us meaning.
Yes.
And this intelligence will live across devices, smartphones, watches, audio, glasses, and whatever comes next.
Yeah, and this is such a powerful idea that AI isn't just about adding smart features or smarter features, but about fundamentally rethinking devices and systems that we interact with every day. And how do you see software shaping with this?
Well, I think software is going to turn personal, right? Instead of one operating system for 1 billion people, we're going to see 1 billion different operating systems for 1 billion people. And the first step in that direction for us was Essential Apps that we introduced at the end of last year. So this is our answer to democratizing software. You just have to log in, describe the app you want to see using natural language, You don't have to know how to code, and it just shows up. You can deploy it onto your phone.
Yeah.
The first time I tried it, like I made something and I clicked and it showed up on the phone, it really felt like magic.
Yeah, yeah, and it's putting that creative power directly into people's hands. That's really what helps Nothing
100%.
stand out as a brand. And I love the idea that software has this potential to be something that adapts to us rather than something that we adapt to. I really honestly cannot wait for all of this to come together. It really does sound like some exciting stuff is in the pipeline. It's coming from nothing. But what about today's announcement? I mean, that's why we're all here, right?
Of course, as mentioned, scale is a critical part of our journey. And today we're excited to launch upgrades to our best-selling product series, the Phone A series, but also Headphone A. Building on the success of Headphone 1 from last year, it received Time Magazine's Best Innovations of 2025, and it just picked up an IF Gold Design Award.
Yes, we're expanding your best-selling line while building on the success of your award-winning audio products. Feels like a very strong next step for the brand, I think. And I'm definitely not surprised that the Headphone 1 got an award. They are a gorgeous, beautifully crafted pair of headphones. So, like I said, guys, this is really exciting times for Nothing. Carl, I want to take the time now to say thank you so much for joining me on the stage. Thank you for being here with us. Now we're going to bring Charlie Smith on stage, the most recent member of the Nothing family. He's the new Chief Brand Officer, and here he is waiting in the wings. Come on down. Hey, Charlie,
Hi,
how
Lucy.
are you?
I'm very good, thanks.
Okay, so 2 months in, so you're probably still kind of working out where everything is in the office. But how are the first couple of months going? What have you learned so far for Nothing?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a crazy 8 weeks so far, but in a good way. We've brought in some incredibly talented team members. We've really been sharpening the brand strategy and working really hard on this launch.
Yeah.
I also was at Mobile World Congress in Barcelona recently, so it's great to be with you here today.
Yeah, I think a lot of people in the crowd have come from Barcelona this week. You really have joined the brand at quite an exciting time, and I don't doubt for a second that you are going to prove to be a valuable asset as the brand evolves. So how do you articulate the Nothing brand?
Well, we really want to become the most loved tech brand for the next generation of creatives. And we want to do that by collaborating with them across the fields of tech, music, and fashion. And that's why we're here today in Central St. Martin's, so that the talented young creatives who are working here can come and experience this product launch in person. And we're also partnering with the BA Fashion Communications course here, where we're challenging students to harness rebellious creativity to transform the world around them. And I think it's this spirit of collaboration, which is part of how we want to build on the Nothing community, and also one of our key 3 brand pillars of rebellious creativity, radical openness, and technical fun.
Yes. Well, I think one of the things that I've got to say that I really admire about Nothing is the fact that you're all about collaboration. So it's really great to hear about the various projects that you've got going on to really bring the brand to life and essentially put it in front of different audiences as well.
Yeah, and I think, this idea of rebellious creativity is really important to the brand, and hopefully you can already see it coming to life in some of how we've launched our new Pink 4A phone, because we defaced our own billboards and Soho store with pink graffiti and fun messages like this one. And Nothing really wants to challenge the established ways of thinking and employ guerrilla tactics to take on our bigger competitors. So, for example, we recently partnered with the French fashion influencer Lias at Paris Fashion Week on his La Watch Party concept, which is all about democratizing fashion shows for the next generation of fashion students. So students who attended the screening of the Dior Couture show got these T-shirts that we made that said, I went to the watch party and I left with nothing. And ironically, some of them actually left with headphones that were hidden under their seats. That's really the kind of thing that we want to do more of.
Yeah, yeah, and I can't wait to hear what else you guys have got working on in the not too distant future. So what do you think tech companies are missing or just could do differently?
Well, personally, I really love this idea that we can act a bit like a publisher across tech, music, and fashion. Because Nothing already is a great publisher of tech content on YouTube. And I think like how great cultural magazines did back in the day, we could broaden this out to encompass other cultural areas so that if you follow us, you get exposed to those different elements across culture. Co-creation is also a big part of it. So rather than just being in our own little ivory tower like some other companies, we really want to make things with our community. So that's community edition products, music programming, collaborations with fashion designers, limited edition products, and so much more that we're working on.
Yeah, and like you've just mentioned, you're already laying the foundation for this kind of co-creation. So I'm sure I speak for the audience when I say we just cannot wait to see what else is coming from Nothing. And I have to ask, what is your favorite product that you've used so far, and why?
So it has to be the Headphone One, because for me, I love the look and feel of it. I love the controls. I love the fact that you can adjust the settings to your own personal music tastes. But I think in particular, it's the design that stood out for me, because it really is like a fashion statement when you see people wearing it.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that first attracted me to the brand. And I think as our first over-ear headphone that we only launched back in September of last year, it really has created a strong statement. I think it's received really positive reviews.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not surprised. You know, they're gorgeous, they're retro style, they're stylish, they're unique. They definitely turn heads. And the sound quality is top notch as well. So Charlie, why did you follow Headphone One so quickly with a new headphone?
So I think seeing the excitement and success of Headphone One, we really wanted to have a more accessible headphone offering with the A series, and also have the opportunity to be expressive and experimental with color. But to be clear, it's not a replacement. It's an extension of our over-ear portfolio, and we're adding some fun and a new personality for people who want great sound and character. So, without further ado, introducing Headphone A.
Yes, go on, make some noise. You can do better than that, come on. Yes. Okay.
So the A series is really playful by nature, and we wanted to expand our color palette and offer a different colorful vibe at a more accessible price point. And this really aligns with how we're thinking about becoming the tech company for the next generation of creatives.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so we're talking headphones. A key part of Headphone A is color, bit of a color injection. So I'd like to bring out Lucy, Nothing's color material and finished lead. So please come on down, make some noise for Lucy. So Lucy, talk to us about colour. All about colour. It's quite a departure from Nothing's usual black and white aesthetic. And colour really is a feature of the entire A-series launch, isn't it?
Yes, it really is. And for us, colour in tech is super nostalgic. It reminds us of a time that tech felt a lot more optimistic and I guess more playful. So I think what's really nice is that colour brings something completely new to this launch. It totally changes how we feel about the devices.
Yeah.
And particularly for headphones, you know, headphones are a wearable. We want them to feel like an accessory and we want them to feel like super expressive.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, pink isn't just another new colourway, is it? It's an expression of optimism and fun, it's playful, and it's for guys and girls. It's such a great colourway. So this is all super exciting, and honestly, I'm not sure you guys have seen the colours, but I'm absolutely loving them. So Charlie, tell us what you learned from the process of creating the first set of headphones that you've applied to Headphone A.
Well, we know that audio is a really personal thing, and I'm actually a massive bass lover because I'm really into house and techno. And we heard from our community and the younger audience that bass was something they wanted more of. So having that in mind, we've adjusted the tuning of both the hardware and the EQ to deliver a deeper bass sound profile that's aligned with what young people want.
Yes, well, as a self-confessed bass junkie, I am absolutely loving the sound of that
Who
drum
doesn't
and
love
bass.
bass?
I know, right? So, Lucy, can you tell us what are the key differences between Headphone A and Headphone One? I'm sure the audience really want to know that.
So with Headphone One, we really loved that architecture, and it's more of an evolution of that design language than a completely new thing. So we've rounded the design of the ear cups, and just it helps it feel a little bit more friendly and a bit more appropriate to the material. We've really managed to maintain that iconic silhouette. But with the transparency, we actually decided to extend it over the entire ear cup. So the color lives underneath the transparency, which gives it this like really nice poppy feeling.
Yeah, yeah, and honestly, you have done such a remarkable job. They are ridiculously good looking. And Charlie, I've heard they can last for days.
Yes,
Right?
so these headphones come with a best-in-class battery life, which lasts for up to 135 hours of playtime. Just to put that into context, that's over 5 days of continuous play, which to me is crazy. I think that's what inspired our upcoming collaboration with Outlander, this cultural publication, and what we're calling 5 Days of Nothing.
Yeah.
And 5 Days of Nothing is going to be a continuous live stream of DJs all around the world, performing around the clock to really show just how long these these headphones can last.
Yes, and that's such a brilliant and creative way to really bring that feature to life and really hammer home just what these headphones are capable of. And I think I'm right in saying that this is the longest battery life in any nothing audio product to date, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about sound now and some of the detail that this pair of headphones offers.
So with Headphone A, we really wanted listeners to enjoy the best sound quality by delivering high-res audio, as well as the ability to be able to customize and shape their own sound with the Nothing X app. So whether that's through our advanced EQ or by tapping into creator profiles from the Nothing community, you get the highest level of control for your audio, unlike really any other headphones of the market.
Yeah, and I think sound is so subjective, isn't it? So being able to personalize your audio to suit your ears is just going to be a much welcome feature, right?
Totally.
So can you talk me through the button setup now? How's that work?
Yeah, so just like the Headphone 1, you have these very tactile controls. You've got the paddle that allows you to skip tracks with a quick press or scrub if you hold it down for longer periods. Then there's the roller to turn the volume up or down, press to pause or play, or hold down to switch A and C modes. And then you've got the button that lets you jump between your most recent audio apps and functions with a channel hop. And then my favorite new feature we've included is we know everyone loves a quick selfie or outfit check, is that you can actually use it as a remote camera option. It allows you to take both photos and videos. And I think this really reflects how we want to aid people's creativity and self-expression in a really seamless way.
Yeah, I love that. And I don't doubt for a second that is going to be a feature that is going to be used by a lot of people. So is it fair to say that if you've used the Headphone 1, you'll be quite at home with the button setup, but if you haven't, it's intuitive enough for you to use?
Exactly.
Okay, so now moving on to comfort. If you're going to flank your head with a pair of headphones, comfortability is so important. They need to be comfortable. So what about the comfort on these headphones, and have you really changed anything there?
Well, we've actually had a lot of positive reception towards the comfort of the Headphone 1, so we honestly didn't want to change too much that would impact the overall design and form. We've used things like memory foam padding for the headband and memory foam ear cushions to maximize comfort, even if you're wearing glasses or have ear piercings. And we've used steel for the arms and hinges for extra rigidity and durability. And then for flexibility, we've got these sliding arms with glass-filled nylon, so that means that there's no noise when you're adjusting them.
Yeah.
And then to celebrate the launch of these headphones, we've created a campaign featuring young creatives who go against the grain, alongside product imagery and also provocative still lives that you can see at the entrance and outside of the venue. And the condom caused quite a storm online. Let's check out the film now.
Sometimes I just start recording and walking, puts the outside world inside your head.
My personal favourites, nollie tray, laser flip, double tray.
I started by collecting clown porcelain
Sound
dolls.
waves coming from different places collide into each other, they distort, so they become another thing.
This is a clown ring.
Dolphin flip, hospital
I
flip.
had a little clown face that I'd already
540
done.
double flip.
So, Charlie, we've had some news about what 2026 is going to be all about and revealed Headphone A. But what do you think it means for smartphones? Let's talk smartphones.
Yeah, so last year we actually launched more than 6 devices, which was our highest amount ever. The most important of those was Phone 3, which really was the evolution of our unique point of view, both in terms of design but also functionality. And Phone 3 remains the pinnacle of our hardware lineup and will continue to lead it throughout 2026. But jumping back in time to 2022, so we turned heads with transparency and LEDs when we launched Phone 1. Then with Phone 2, we really refined that vision. And now Phone 3 challenges to be different in a sea of sameness.
Yeah, well, like I said to Carl, it really is impressive just what Nothing has achieved in such a short space of time. Daring to be different, daring to put your stamp on the market, and it seems to be working really well for you guys so far. So with the Phone 3, you also introduced the iconic Glyph matrix for the first time, so tell me about that.
Yeah, so we introduced this Glyph matrix, which has become a big talking point, and it really transforms the back of the phone into a mini LED display that's more than just lights.
Yes.
It's both playful and functional. It's this kind of visual language that's designed to reduce distraction and avoid you from having to turn your phone over the whole time. And some of the great features include essential notifications, which assign persistent icons on the matrix for unread notifications, special contacts, apps, and keywords.
Yeah.
Then we've got the Glyph toys, which are fun, personal interactions and information. There's also Caller ID, which is a feature for instant recognition.
Yeah.
And we've also been providing continuous updates to ensure the system's reliable and functional and continues to improve. And the camera, for example, has got smarter processing and consistent performance across all lightings and lenses.
Yeah.
We've launched a suite of Essential AI tools as well. So there's Essential apps, which we debuted as exclusives for the Phone 3, but then rolled out across the whole range. And with consistent updates, we're going to keep focusing on Phone 3 as our most powerful offering for the whole of 2026.
Yeah, and you're so right. You know, this is about so much more than just lights. It's that unique functionality that really helps the phone stand out. And of course, with consistent updates, you know, it offers users that peace of mind as well that they've invested in something that's built to last. Yeah. So how has the Nothing Smartphone A series evolved?
So going back in time, with the Phone 2A series, we really created a dent in this mid-range segment. And it's a segment that's often neglected by some of the bigger players, but it's really important to the next generation of creatives, right? Brands often cut corners, they inflate the specs, they make users compromise at that price point. But we feel like we really changed that with the 2A series because it made us a serious contender where we offered premium-looking devices at real value for money. And we set this record by selling over 100,000 units in the first 24 hours. So building on 2A's success, we then launched the 3A series last year with two phones together for the first time.
Yep.
And that was a true upgrade, I think, both in terms of design, but also camera capability. And with the 3A Pro variant, we created this real talking point.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to say initial doubters became serious lovers.
Yeah.
And this year, we're taking a similarly radical approach. So we're levering up our A series overall.
Yeah. So building on the success of the past, what is the approach for the Phone 4A series this year?
So the 4A series is really the evolution of our mid-range segment. It's got eye-catching design, it's got playful color options, it's got flagship-grade cameras and power-packed performance. And all of this with an OS which is designed to enhance your creativity and reduce distraction from your life.
Yeah.
So we genuinely believe that these are the most distinctive phones in the segment and really good value for everyone. And we have not just one, but two phones. So there's the Phone 4A, which we already revealed in the past few days, and that comes in 4 colors. There's white, black, blue, and my personal favorite, pink. Let's take a look.
Yes. All right, there you go, the Phone 4A. Yes! That deserves a round of applause for sure. But we're not done yet. Lots of people are asking about a Pro. Come on, put these guys out their misery. Where is it?
So yes, the rumors are true. I'm excited to share with you today that there is a 4A Pro. And it's a complete evolution. It has a metal body with a transparent casing using the same design language as Headphone 1. And it comes in 3 colors, silver, like this one, black, and a metallic, glimmering pink.
Nice.
Let's check it out now. So both the 4A and the 4A Pro come in a pink colorway and look great with the pink Headphone A. This is a first for nothing and also a great embodiment of our playful personality. I'm going to get Lucy and Kevin from the design team talk about the designs in more detail.
Yes. Hey, Kevin.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us. We're having loads of fun up here. Welcome to the fun. So we're talking about two distinctive phones here that continue this gorgeous design aesthetic of exposed industrial design with components that are visible on the rear. You know, it's an evolved design language. So walk us through the Phone 4A series designs.
Sure. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah, okay, great. Let's see, as a design team, we are always looking for ways to improve our product. And we like to surprise our fan base.
Yeah.
We try not to recycle the same look generation after generation. It seems like there are plenty of other brands who choose to do this today, and it's just not really for us.
Yeah.
So this intention, it lies within the A series. We have an evolved design language. We are using new build structures, bold materials, and have created a whole new experience.
Yeah. So when it comes to the latest releases, you like to keep people on their toes, not sure what to expect. Yeah. So Lucy, tell us about how the design for both the Phone 4A and 4A Pro have evolved from last year's 3A series.
Sure. So I think what's really nice about these designs is that they're definitely a story of evolution and refinement rather than a total redesign. So if you look at this alongside the 2A and the 3A, you can really see the sort of iterative nature of it and where we've really come from. So our products generally live on this scale from more technical feeling to slightly more warm. If you look at 2A, that was like very soft in geometry and like very leaning into that world. And then for 3A, it definitely went a little bit more technical and slightly different. So we think that this is a really nice middle ground between the two. So it's a really like nice achievement for us as a team. We've kept the camera visor geometry, but the actual camera bump is quite a lot slimmer. So that's handy if you're going to jam it in your pocket. Always good to have less bulk. We've also refined the ratio of this top section here, and the back design overall for us is always a kind of interpretation directly of all the componentry that's underneath. It's always really fascinating to see, like, how's it made? But a lot of those components have got kind of twin-injected metal and plastic parts. So that's why we've brought some of these metallic elements up to the surface so that you can really like pay homage to what's underneath.
Yeah. So it's like you've taken the best bits of the 2A, the 3A, 3A Pro, and refined the design for the 4A series to create these beautiful, gorgeous designs. Kevin, what about the Phone 4A Pro?
So the Pro was an honest evolution that happened throughout the design process in close collaboration with engineering. When you place this phone next to some of our newer products like the Headphone 1 and Ear 3, you can see how it is becoming a part of our newer Nothing products. Let's see what else. They all use metal parts in a thoughtful way that feels unique to us. And this phone, it's a great phone for its price. It's sitting closer to our flagship than any other A series before it, and it is a complete redesign from the 3A Pro. Let's see what else. It's an evolution most definitely within our own Nothing design world. And it has a visual complexity that sets itself apart from really any other phone on the market today.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it certainly does that. Nothing has carved out a truly distinctive design aesthetic that is just unmistakably Nothing. So let's talk transparency. This is a signature part of Nothing's design identity, right? So how does the Phone 4A Pro keep that momentum going?
You could say that we are advancing our transparent design language. This phone takes on a gesture that we refer to as the window. It's functional, it's sculpted and sculptural, and it adds a recognizable identity to the product itself. And now this transparent part, it sits within an aluminum unibody that is most definitely engineered. It's durable, adding, a 42% bend strength increase, and it's a nice update to IP65 rating. And it's also our thinnest Nothing phone to date at 7.95 millimeters. We like to learn from user testing, and this is why we made the decision to move the central key to the other side of the device to prevent accidental touches.
Yeah. So Lucy, let's talk about colors. Now you guys have been teasing and have revealed a few colorways before the launch, and I've got to say, I love every single color. But let's talk about that. Talk to me about the colorways.
So at Nothing, we have this kind of very iconic black, white, and red design language that's been around for a while. People feel very familiar with it. They're comfortable with it. But we're always looking, we're kind of greedy in the design team, so we're always looking for ways to sort of expand and evolve that expression. And we really just felt it was the right moment to do something new and something that feels a bit kind of risky for us, which is why we've brought in this pink. The pink is launched on both 4A and 4A Pro. But it's actually a really natural evolution of our Nothing Red. It's just desaturated into pink, so that's pretty cool science. And then for the 4A, you can see that the transparency, the color actually like lives inside that transparency. And what that means is that you get this amazing sort of sense of depth and dimension with what's underneath. So it's much more kind of layered.
Yeah. And injecting color this way into a smartphone is such a great way to just express your individuality, express your personality in a device that we essentially carry around all day, every day. So Kevin, I want to talk about the iconic Glyph interface. And the star of the show, you know, tell us about the evolution of this.
Well, let's see. To begin with, it's an awesome branding element. It looks great and it's cool.
Yes.
And on average, I guess we check our phones 96 times a day, and you could say it's robbing us from the present moment. The Glyph interface solves this by sending you essential notifications on the back of the phone using custom light patterns. It's basically giving you just the right amount of things that you need to prevent yourself from like constantly picking up your phone and mindlessly scrolling for maybe no reason at all.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it really is Nothing Phone's most standout feature. So it's really great to hear how it's evolved over time. But how is the Glyph interface different on both devices?
Let's back up and we'll start and look at the first phone it had, which was phone 1. We had 5 LEDs that absolutely flooded the back of the display, or the back of the phone. And it gave you essential notifications for things like incoming calls, messages, and charging progress.
Yeah.
The phone 2 refined into using dynamic zones for updates like Glyph progress, to track live updates, essential notifications, and personalized alerts.
Yeah.
And then we took the 3A series, and the Glyph was condensed into 3 strips, giving you all the functionality while only using a top portion of the phone. And then we introduced the phone 3, which was quite the evolution with the introduction of the Glyph Matrix, which gave nice updates to essential notifications, where you could assign certain symbols to specific notifications, and interactive functionality for stuff like Glyph toys, Glyph mirror, caller ID, etc.
Yeah, it's been on quite the journey, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So let's talk about the new phones and how it's different. Lost my train of thought there.
Yeah, it's okay, me too. So when you look at the 4A, the Glyph interface has 6 square LEDs, and for the first time ever in the A series, a red recording light. It's basically our way of bringing all the value in the Glyph interface in a new shape and form.
Yeah.
And then for the Pro, we took the Glyph Matrix and we brought it into this phone with a refined feature set for more intentional phone use. It's bold, playful, and it's 57% larger for more long-read, glanceable functionality.
Yeah, and it really is such a genuinely useful and fun way to interact with your phone. I mean, there's just so much you can do with it. It's such a great feature. It's loved by the Nothing community and beyond. So we also know that the Glyph interface is interlinked with software. So now I think it's time to bring on the expert, the operating system prodigy. I'm talking about Salim, who leads AI and software design. So Salim, please come and join me on stage. And Kevin and Lucy, I want to say a massive thank you from the design team, crucial cogs of the Nothing machine. Salim, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
It's great to have you up here.
Thank
So
you.
what are some of the key functionalities that connect back to intentional smartphone usage?
Yeah, so the Glyph really exists as this playful aid to your creativity and sort of for you to be less distracted.
Yes.
And it's sort of that layer between the software and the hardware. It's sort of that new output in a way for the phone.
Yeah.
And it's really here for the phone to communicate with you without pulling in completely. And it comes alive in different ways on the 4A and the 4A Pro.
Yeah.
On the 4A, with its gorgeous Glyph bar, it's the perfect medium for progress-based updates. So ride tracking or food delivery or keeping track of a timer while you're in deep work.
Yeah.
It's basic information that reaches you without you needing to really go and look for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the 4A Pro, we take it a step further. It's all about sort of our iconic always-on Glyph matrix.
Yep.
Or we added interactive functionality with the Glyph mirror. So if you want to do a cheeky selfie, you can actually see yourself.
Yeah.
Then obviously there's caller ID, there's clock, our solar path, so you always know where that sun is, which is important.
Yeah.
As well as obviously battery. And then we take it even a step further with essential notifications. Essential notifications, basically you can whitelist people or keywords.
Yeah.
And the Glyph will then basically make you aware of it if that then happens on the phone.
Yeah.
So let's say maybe you want to choose a heart icon for mom or dad if they text you.
Yeah.
Or a crying face if you get a Slack notification. And only then the phone will basically notify you. Other than that, it's tuned out.
Yes.
Face down.
Yeah, and it's not only about encouraging creativity, but like I said earlier, this is a genuinely useful feature. And the amount of things that you can do with it.
Yeah.
So you're not interacting as much with your smartphone. It's just crazy. It's brilliant. So can anyone create their own Glyph toys for Phone 4a Pro, just like with the Phone 3?
Absolutely. And we have our community already being very creative with it, building Glyph toys using our Glyph SDK. But you can also just go on Playground, which you can find on playground.nothing.tech,
Yeah.
and just browse Glyph toys that you can then download onto your phone.
Yeah, well, I think the popular saying is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know, it's proved popular on the Phone 3, so I'm not surprised that you've now brought it to the Phone 4a Pro. So can you tell us why Nothing OS is loved by all smartphone or Nothing smartphone users?
Yeah, so Nothing OS 4.0, which we launched last year, was about making the whole system feel more intentional. Our product and design philosophy really centers around the idea of creating calm environments.
Yeah.
Sort of reducing the experience to what really matters in the moment.
Yes.
And be helpful. And at the same time, I think, importantly, it's about giving back agency to our users in a day and age where there's so much information hitting them at once. To get there, Nothing OS is based on 4 pillars. Design, obviously, which is our iconic Nothing hardware as well as software design. Something that is reduced, yet delightful, something unmistakably Nothing.
Yeah.
Then we introduced the pillar of personalization. Something that makes the phone feel truly like yours. The concept of essential apps, for instance, shows that. Then there's the pillar of creativity. It's tools that support expression, from capturing to creating. And then hopefully, we always want it to be fast and smooth. So obviously performance that responds instantly and helps you keep in the moment.
Yeah. And it's those 4 key pillars that make the OS just unmistakably Nothing, right? So last year you launched Nothing OS 4.0. What was the thinking behind it and what were the new features?
Yeah, so when we launched Nothing OS 4.0, it was all about cleaner visuals, a more sort of refined, refreshed lock screen, deeper dark mode, and then sort of that feeling of a more intuitive experience as soon as you unlock that phone.
Yeah.
But we also launched floating apps, resizable quick settings, more widget sizes, really to help you multitask more effortlessly.
Yeah.
And then the camera and gallery are improved too. And then most importantly, I feel like, is the idea of essential apps that we launched that really pushes that idea of personalization through to the max.
Yeah.
Anyone can now create essential apps and just sort of deploy it.
Yeah.
And so I feel like the result is a system, an OS, that truly feels personal, smooth, adaptive and helps you keep in the flow.
Yeah, and I think that explains why the OS is loved and appreciated by so many. There are so many incredible, useful, amazing features that you can really sink your teeth into. And with the phone 4A and 4A Pro, what's new?
Yeah, so with our phone 4A series, we're introducing Nothing OS 4.1. It's even more thoughtful. It's less in your way. It helps you sort of act on information more quickly and easily. There are 3 things calling out that I can actually show you on the phone. We have a refreshed lock screen that sort of now has depth wallpaper as well as more customizable interactions for our watch. So you can expand the watch or just basically change the position on it. And it works beautifully with our new depth wallpapers. Then we built a relaxation hub straight into the OS, because basically the phone is often where stress and anxiety builds up.
Yes.
And so we believe in a relaxation, sort of a soundscape built straight into the OS is a meaningful addition. And then we added live notifications to the phone as well. So you will not need to go and look for your updates, but it will be straight on the home screen.
Yeah. And it really is good to hear how you're building on the success of the previous OS, previous features to build out something that really stands out, head and shoulders above from the crowd and doing things differently from everyone else. And how long will Nothing support the software updates for the phone 4A series?
Yeah, I'm happy to say that we're going to support it with 3 years of Android updates, as well as 6 years of security updates.
Yes, that's always good to hear, isn't it? It offers great peace of mind for anyone investing in a phone. So that's very cool. But what is Essential AI all about? Let's move on to that.
Yeah, so Essential AI is our layer inside of Nothing OS that sort of helps make the system feel more personal, more organized, and more helpful. It brings together tools to help you capture, create, recall, just with less friction. It's sort of something that shapes around you how you want to live your life and how you think. And everything runs on your own terms with sort of privacy at the center of it. So what you save stays yours. And then the Essential is sort of our beginning of an adaptive kind of software.
Yeah. And I'm sure lots of people want to know, what are the essential AI products that come with the Nothing phones?
So it starts with capturing. Most of us save things all day, be it screenshots, photos, voice notes, quick thoughts. And then with the Essential key that now moved to the other side of the phone, it goes straight into Essential Space. Essential Space, I can show you, is basically where those saved moments start to live and be organized. It's much more useful. We see that we created a space where your captures live on this side, as well as where then these captures get extracted into events and tasks. Also, a good update to Essential Space, it will soon support cloud and get a web version as well, because that's something we heard the community ask a lot, so we're going to go multi-platform with it. Then not everything stands or ends up in just Essential Space by itself, so we created something called Essential Memories, which is a system that brings together all of the actions that happen on your phone to then make the phone a more personalized experience if you start to use something that we call Essential Search. Essential Search, I can show you again, is basically a feature that once you swipe up from the bottom, you get a universal search bar that then helps you get rid of the small frictions that might happen on the phone, which is these tiny task switches. For instance, if I want to calculate something or just get a simple answer, all of this can happen on Essential Search. So for instance, I'm interested in what thank you means in Swahili. So let's see if that one works. Because we all know what thank you means in Japanese. Let's see what thank you is.
We want a challenge.
There you go. It seems to, too bad. It feels like the internet doesn't work right now.
Well, I will say it definitely worked when we tried this morning.
It did.
There's too many of you in here.
And so basically, Essential Search would be, or is that feature that then gives you information at your fingertips. And then finally, there is Essential Apps and Playground. In a world full of apps, most still aren't really built around you, around me. And so Essential Apps really helps people sort of create applications by just using natural language and directly then port it onto their phone.
Yeah.
And all of them then can also be found on Playground, which is that space where a lot of people create their apps, upload them for other people to find them, browse, or even remix.
Yeah.
And so I'd say you can get them started to build the essential apps and launch them onto your phone, which is as easy as basically launching your phone, opening your widget drawer, swipe to the left, and then basically see the essential app you want to deploy and just add it to your screen. Here, I just deployed a small Pokemon game that someone built from the community.
Love it. So what we're talking about here is basically a series of features intent on making your usability or your interaction with your smartphone more seamless, making your life easier, take out those unnecessary steps. And some fantastic features there. All sounds super exciting. So tell us a bit more about Essential AI.
Yeah, so that's right. Essential AI for us is really the beginning of that invisible layer that makes your phone feel much more personal, much more useful, much more structured, and sort of helps you keep in the flow so you can be more creative and sort of live the life you want to live.
Yeah.
And it gives you back that agency that I believe is so important.
Yeah.
And now for this to sort of feel real, we need fantastic hardware.
Yes.
And I would love to actually invite Rob onto the stage and hear everything about it.
Yes, he's waiting in the wings. Rob, come on down. Salim, thank you so much. Oh. Rob, you've got some fans in the audience.
There's a few familiar faces.
Okay, so we're now going to move on to specs. Camera, display, and chipset KSPs, along with pricing and availability, that crucial information that people want to know. So once again, thank you for joining us. Can you take us through the specs of the Phone 4A and the 4A Pro, starting with the camera?
I definitely can, but I first want to acknowledge that it's meant to be Akis here today.
Yeah.
I've stepped in last minute. He's stuck in Dubai at the moment.
Yeah.
So shout out to my man Akis. I'm sure he's watching online.
And you're an excellent replacement.
Yeah, yeah, cameras. I think we'll start with cameras.
Yes.
So with Phone 3A series last year, it was like a super popular aspect of our lineup.
Yeah.
Especially Phone 3A Pro for introducing that periscope lens. So really used that as a kind of foundation and built on it for this year's products.
Yeah, yeah. And what is so special about Phone 4A and 4A Pro cameras?
Yeah, so let's start with the periscope in particular. Last year we used a kind of quite traditional periscope. This year it's a tetraprism design, which is kind of a W shape.
Yeah.
The benefit of this is the physical component is much smaller and thinner. You might remember that Phone 3A Pro had a pretty big camera bump, but if you look at the size of this year's devices, they're just much thinner. So it's a much,
so much
better
thinner.
component to work with for our industrial design team. Also, let's talk about the actual capabilities of that periscope. So, firstly, last year's periscope was a 3x zoom. This year it's 3.5x. And the reason why that's important is because 3.5x basically equates to about 80 millimeters focal length, which is considered kind of a golden focal length for taking portraits. So maybe we'll show this camera. There's just been some like really great, maybe not the animals actually. Let's look at these shots. Some really great results with portraits. This
good.
allows up to 7x lossless zoom as well, which is up from 6x last year. And if you want to take it a bit further than that, we also have 70x ultra zoom on the 4A and up to 140x ultra zoom on 4A Pro, which is obviously enhanced by AI.
Yeah. So what we're talking about here is flagship level photography, right?
I'd say so.
Yeah. And what about the main camera for both of the devices?
Yep, so we'll start with the 4A. This has a 50 megapixel primary sensor. This is 1/157 inch, which is quite a bit larger than other sensors in this price segment.
Yeah.
And what that basically means is we get a little bit more light into the camera and a lot more detail. But on 4A Pro, we've stepped up a little bit more. This has a Sony 50 megapixel.
Raise the bar.
Exactly that. Slightly larger. It has slightly faster image processing and up to 20% faster autofocus as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure all the shutterbugs and camera enthusiasts are positively salivating at the thought of getting their hands on all these cool features. So how wide can the cameras go? How much can we squeeze in?
Yeah, so both models have a 120-degree FOV ultra-wide, which is a Sony camera. And then on the front, we also have a 32-megapixel selfie shooter. Maybe we can just grab a quick one with the camera guy here. Yeah, so a really nice kind of complete system across the board.
Yeah, and software is, of course, super important as well. So talk to us about the camera software.
Absolutely. So we introduced Nothing Gallery not too many OS versions ago. It's been super popular. But yeah, this time we've added a few more editing options just to kind of complete the, anyone who likes to adjust their images, there's a whole bunch more to play with now. And another great one is we've added AI Eraser, which has been highly requested by our community.
Yes.
So some photos I took this morning show you how this works. It's really great for removing things like people who have stepped into your shot or maybe reflections as well.
Yep.
The really cool thing about this feature is it works locally on the device, so you don't need to be connected to the internet to use this tool. So pretty cool to have. And finally, we also have our preset system. So this has been really popular. We have 7 to play with out of the box, but we also have obviously playground.nothing.tech, where our community is uploading all of their presets as well, which makes kind of making your images more cinematic super easy.
Yeah. So talk to us about the TrueLens Engine 4. For people who have no idea what that means, enlighten us.
Yeah, TrueLens Engine 4. This is our kind of flagship computational photography pipeline.
Yeah.
What that basically means is both of these devices are powered by that. And we also have Ultra XDR on these as well, which is a nice improvement.
Yeah, so what we're talking about here is a couple of versatile cameras designed to essentially handle all kinds of shooting scenarios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we can talk a bit about Ultra XDR quickly.
Yeah, let's squeeze that in.
So this feature is all about using 13 raw frames to build your image, so you get really nice highlights and shadows, and generally a lot more detail. I guess another thing to mention about Ultra XDR is on the Pro model, it's available to shoot video with as well. So you can have a nice HDR-like quality to your colors. And then finally, we've also introduced motion photo. So when you enable this, you're capturing 3 seconds of video whenever you take a picture.
Yeah.
And that means you can basically kind of relive the moments that you photographed, which is a nice thing to have.
Yeah, it's always nice to relive moments.
Absolutely.
Yes. And what's new with the Nothing Gallery?
Well, we have covered the Nothing Gallery with the AI eraser and the presets.
Oh, we jumped ahead, right?
We jumped around.
Can't hear you properly. Okay, let's move on from the camera. Right. How's the display for both the devices?
Yeah, so for me, when I first saw these products, the displays really jumped out as being like kind of crazy because I've been daily driving Phone 3, which is our flagship, but the displays on these devices are pretty incredible. So maybe we can cover the 4A first. This has a 1.5K flexible AMOLED display. And the real story here is with brightness. It's got a peak brightness of 4,500 nits, which is great, up 50% from last year's models. We also have a higher touch sampling rate, which is now 2,500 hertz, so perfect for gamers.
Yes.
This display on the base model is 120 hertz refresh rate. And then also it's worth mentioning we have advanced PWM dimming now, which means that there's less flicker, and these should be a little bit easier on the eyes.
Yes, so what we're talking about here is flagship level quality display here.
I would say so. These are some of the best displays we've put in.
Yeah, this definitely sounds eye-popping. And the Phone 4, the Pro, has obviously got the higher quality screen, yes?
Yeah, so the Pro model takes the screen to another level. With this model, you get 5,000 nits peak brightness. We also get an enhanced 144 hertz refresh rate, so this is great for gamers. And another thing that's worth mentioning is we've always been about uniform bezels on our phones, but 4A Pro has the thinnest bezels of any of our phones, even thinner than Phone 3A from last summer. So really nice improvements across the board.
Nice. So you've revealed the Phone 4A series with Snapdragon processors. So can you tell us why Snapdragon and about the exact processors for each of the devices?
Yeah, so we made this change to Snapdragon after 2A series, and this was a really popular decision with our community. So we stayed with that for 4A series. Both of them have Snapdragon chips. In the 4A, we have the 7S Gen 4, which is the latest chip, which is a slight improvement from the 7S Gen 3 on 3A series. But then for the Pro, again, we've stepped up another level, and this has the Snapdragon 7 Gen 4. Some significant improvements here. We have 27% faster CPU, 30% better graphics, and up to 65% improvement in AI-related tasks as well. So it's a bit of a powerhouse.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Snapdragon really is such a smart choice. It powers some of the best phones out there. So I can see why you've chosen to put CPUs underneath the hood. So are there any other key specs that are important or crucial to the performance of these devices?
Yeah, we caught a bit of slack, I think, with the 3A series for not having anything above UFS 2.2 storage. So we have UFS 3.1 on both of these models, which should mean much faster file transfers, much faster app loading times. And it's also worth mentioning that with the Pro model in particular, we've actually put LPDDR5X RAM in there as well. So this should help with speeding up things like app switching. And it's all just going to contribute to a much kind of more fluid experience across the
Yeah. Well, if you're a little bit impatient like I am, it's these kind of upgrades that just really make usability just a little bit more enjoyable, isn't it? Now, you mentioned, you touched on gaming earlier, but is there anything else you want to mention about the gaming?
Yeah, so we can confirm that for BGMI, which is really popular, we get 120 FPS, and then we're able to achieve 90 FPS in PUBG as well.
Well, I think as the more enthusiastic gamers in the crowd will attest, intense gaming often means more heating. So how does this device keep its cool?
Yeah, so both of these have much larger vapor chambers than previous generations. They use more conductive materials as well. So with Phone 4a, we're able to achieve 2 degrees less temperature versus previous generations. And because of the metal unibody of the Pro model, this is able to dissipate an additional 5 degrees of heat versus previous generations as well. So they should stay much cooler whilst being more performant than last year's model.
Yes, fantastic for lengthy gaming sessions. And I guess another burning question is, what about the battery life?
Yep.
Yes.
Big batteries in these, 5,080 milliamp hours. Depending on which region you're in, because of certifications and things like this, regulations. So this will be shown as 5,400 milliamp hours in India. But the nice thing is that both models have 50-watt fast charging, which is great. And we've also done all of the work to ensure that these have great longevity. So even after 1,200 cycles, you should still have over 90% of the overall capacity of the battery. So it should last a good number of years.
Yes, that's what we want to hear. And what about sustainability? Are these phones planet-friendly?
Yeah, we've always been really open about, sharing the carbon footprint of our devices, even as far back as year one. That's still true for our smartphones today. They developed 4A, and it had actually the best carbon footprint of any of our smartphones we've released so far. But then when they finished the Pro, did all the homework on that. This actually turned out to be our most sustainable yet, which had a 50.5 kilogram CO2 however you call it, lifetime emissions, basically. So, yeah, lots of recycled materials, and just a kind of step in the right direction in terms of lowering that footprint.
I love that. They look good and they're kind to the planet. So I guess my final question for you, and I'm sure the audience are dying to know, what about the price?
Yeah, so the prices, they've been kept pretty top secret, even internally. So I don't know them off the top of my head, but maybe we can put them up on screen starting with the 4A. Maybe a round of applause for that? I don't know.
Yes, come on.
And then on to the pricing for 4A Pro.
That is competitive pricing.
And finally, Headphone A. So yeah, some pretty incredible specs.
Okay, and then I guess my next question is, when can we get our hands on all of these products? When are they going to be available to buy?
Yep, so pre-orders start today for Phone 4A and Headphone A, so that's over on nothing.tech. If you want to buy them in person, the first opportunity to do that will be at our flagship stores in London and Bangalore, and then general sales will start on the 13th of March. 4A Pro comes a little bit later, with pre-orders starting on the 13th of March.
Yep.
And then we'll have drops at our flagship stores on the 21st, and finally, general sales starting on the 27th of March, so not too long to wait.
Amazing. Rob, thank you so much. You are a veritable fountain of knowledge. I love it. So there you go, gang. You heard it here first. Put those dates in your diary. Pricing has also been revealed, and when you'll be able to get hands-on with these new products. And speaking of hands-on, I'd like to now ask our brand ambassadors to reveal the products so all our audience can get hands-on, drool over the latest tech, ogle over its features, and get their first impressions on the new devices and products. That's not a wrap just yet. I am going to find some people in the crowd and get some first impressions. So don't run away from me if I come up to you. Thank you. Enjoy the products.
My name is 10,
Nice one, Lucy.
1, 21, 19.
Nice work. You smashed it.
My personal favorites: Nolly Tray, Laser Flip, Double
I
Tray.
use Clown White, really thick grease paste.
Mountains of glass, deserts of red bead, heaven, hell.
The base needs to be a fortress.
I is approximately equal to 3.141592653589.
Most of my music centers around themes of love.
These pawns don't listen, they go meditate for hours on end. It's like, oh, stop meditating.
The Slam Fire Throne, the Sanctified Soul, Boiling Seas.
Sometimes I just start recording and puts the outside world inside your head.
628620899.
540 Double Flip, Dolphin Flip, Verse Kick to Variation.
9514277.
And we have like the lasers.
Right? I'm feeling rebellious today. Feeling really rebellious. Feel like spring is in the air. I see all these fresh colors. Pretty excited.
I mean, how incredible is this event? I think Nothing has done such an incredible job turning this space into something so creative, industrial, with that industrial feel.
It doesn't feel like a tech event. And I think in its essence, that's really what Nothing is about as a company. It's just not a tech company. It's creative, and I feel really creative in the room tonight.
All right, so I can see you've got a device in your hand. I've got to ask, what are your first impressions?
I love the pink, not gonna lie. I can't wait to see the Pink Pro. It's just so fun. And you know, design is so important to me, and I love that they're so thoughtful about everything that they do. Yeah.
And it is really those kind of intricate little details that just really make a device stand out.
Really? This is the shape of an owl. See the eyes, the body, and the feet.
Well, I just learned something new. Thank you. You look fabulous, by the way. Oh, my gosh. Hi, I'm coming over to you now. You equally look great. Everyone's so stylish here tonight. How are you?
Amazing, fantastic.
What did you think of the launch event?
You know, I think only Nothing can do such things. You know, we expect such stuff only from Nothing. And the way it's come out in terms of the design overall as a package, I think I'm excited. Yeah.
So 4A or 4A Pro?
Why not both?
Well, if you like to have two smartphones.
Especially in all the colors, though. Now the pink is in both the 4A and the 4A Pro as well. I mean, just go for it. Yeah.
And what do you think about the new Headphones A?
I think it's a vibrant touch, you know, given how audio usually is. I mean, you know, it takes out your own personality. I think now with all the color options going on, I think people would love it. Yeah?
They really have done a stellar job, haven't they? 3 fantastic products. I don't know which one to get. Maybe I'll get them all. Sure. Okay. Oh, just someone waiting in the wings for me here. Hello, my love. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm excellent. I think this has been such a good event. I am so honored to be a part of it and just to get to talk to lovely people like you. So tell me, first impressions.
I'm obsessed with the pink.
Oh, you're matching.
I know. I'm a pink girly, as you can tell. So I was so excited at the announcement of the introduction of pink, because I feel like it's what Nothing needed, you know? I feel like historically they've been quite a masculine brand, so I've been manifesting the pink, so I'm so excited, and I want to get my hands on the Pink Pro.
Well, it's no surprises that I'm a fan of the blue. Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much and enjoy the phone. Okay. Oh, I'm going to come and sit down next to you. How's it going?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
What did you think of this incredible event?
I think it's awesome. Just look around you. I love the venue. I think it's the perfect choice for Nothing. You know, it's cool, it's creative, it's young. So
yeah, it's unmistakably Nothing, isn't it? Okay, and I've got to ask you about the products. Which product is your favorite of the new A-series announcements?
Oh, it's got to be the headphones. You know, I love the colors. I love what they've done. I think they've really done well in sort of making them look like kind of like a more of an iconic design. I think the way they've done those pops of colors, you can see that from a distance. I think it's going to be really recognizably Nothing. So, yeah.
I think they're going to be a real head turner. If you wear them, prepare for people to say, "Where'd you get them from? I want them." Yeah. All right, thank you. Enjoy the event. All right. Hey, loving the jacket. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm enjoying the energy. It's young, it's vibrant, there's so many colors, so yeah.
I'm all about the color, obviously. So tell me, what do you think? First impressions, what's your favorite product?
Yeah, for me, the phone 4A Pro, I think it's one of the craziest products because I think it's the first time Nothing has ever made a metallic product where the body is aluminum and they have gone all out. Like the back is aluminum, the sides are, it's all metal and glass and it feels very premium. Yeah.
It does. It looks premium. It feels premium. Honestly, hats off to the design team and every single person who got involved in the creation of these devices. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the event. Okay, so I'm good. Love your T-shirt.
Oh, thank you.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here. It's a beautiful day in London. Can't complain.
Oh, it's great to have you here. So I want to know, what are your first impressions of just the event space itself, but also, of course, the products?
I mean, the space is absolutely beautiful. I mean, like, look at it. And it's perfectly curated. The phone is great. It's very unique. Headphones fantastic. Nothing is just one of those brands that, like, seems to have everything on lock, from the models they use to the music in the ads, the color choices, the design. There's nobody out there like Nothing.
I wholeheartedly agree. What a great statement to end our live stream on. I guess on that note, all I've got left to say is thank you so much for joining us in person and live online. Thanks to the community for supporting us. We appreciate you so much, especially those of you who supported us from day one and holding us to a higher standard. And I guess all that's left to say is enjoy the products, enjoy your day, and don't forget when those devices become available so you can get your hands on them if you've not been here today. I've been Lucy Hedges. I have had the best time being your host today. Enjoy whatever it is you're doing today, and I'll see you later.